Brian has 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Do we know how many bank accounts we have yet?
24 bank accounts.
24 bank accounts. Okay. Do all of them have bank overdraft facilities?
Could I just say on the 24, you know I talked about the 11 ETP centres earlier,
Okay.
and I think in each case that has to be a specific
So if we take
account.
off those 11, there's what, 23 bank accounts held by the FAI?
There's 24 altogether. And
And 11 of them are in relation to the ETB, so there's what?
That's 13.
13 bank accounts, okay. So do all of them have overdraft facilities?
I'd have to ask a colleague in the finance department.
No, just one.
Just the one?
Correct.
Okay, so the one bank account which has the overdraft facility, was that the same bank account that there was concerns about that if all of the checks and the electronic financial transactions had come in, that there would be an issue in relation to funds not being sufficient? Or is it a separate bank account we're talking about?
That is the main bank account we use. So
That's not the question I asked.
With respect to Deputy, I'm trying to answer the question. Okay. That's the main bank account we use. That is the account where checks are paid from. So correct, that is the account.
So that is the account. In relation to, let's say, prize money, UEFA prize money which is given to clubs, does that come from that bank account?
Would you mind rephrasing your question? Do you mean, as in, is that the account where the money is received, or is that where we pay from?
Yes.
Typically, we would pay clubs from that account as well. It's our main account for paying any cash outgo.
So when the money comes in from UEFA, it goes into that bank account?
It goes into another account, which is a UEFA account.
Okay. I just have to advise that there's issues that may arise here. I'm asking you to keep asking a question, but just to point that out.
I don't understand what.
Well, we agreed that there was a remit of the committee, and we have to stick to that. And there are certain questions which were read out at the very beginning. I appreciate you weren't here. That could not be asked legally, and there are ones that could.
And is that one of them?
Well, I'm telling you that I'm advising you as chairperson.
Okay.
That I've been advised just to be careful what you're saying here in terms of the legal issues which you may not be aware of, and the Supreme Court case and all that issue.
I'm well aware as a member of the Public Accounts Committee of the Supreme Court case, Chair.
Hold on a second.
No, I appreciate the advice.
No, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. What I want to get very clear to you and to everybody is that we're all on the same side here in getting the facts. We have to act within the law, whether we like it or not. And I don't like having to say to you that you have to be careful about a question. But if I don't do that, I'm in breach of my duty.
No, I appreciate
Hold on, I'm
that.
not finished. I know you mightn't like to hear this, but the fact is the Supreme Court has commented on the role of the chairman in the Cairns case. And I have to have due regard to all of the advices that I've got. So there's no big deal here.
Thanks, Chair. Now that we know there's no big deal, can I ask the question?
No. Hold on a second now. I don't want to prevent anybody from asking a question.
So can I ask?
I don't want you to make little of me.
I'm not making
I won't make
little
of you.
I'm not making
but none of us will make little of the legal advice we've got. That's the point.
Okay, I appreciate that, Chair. Yeah. Can I repeat the question? So the UEFA prize money comes...
Mr. Chairman, we're talking about UEFA money now.
No. I'm trying to establish, in relation to the 100...
We were talking about public funding.
Chair, if I can clarify, okay? Okay, if I can clarify. And if you don't want to answer, or if it's beyond the remit, it's beyond the remit, that's fine. But can I please clarify and ask the question, and then you can tell me whether it's beyond the remit or not. I'm trying to establish, in relation to the 100...
Do that.
Okay, Chair.
That's okay. No, you can laugh if you want, lads.
Okay.
The thing is, this is serious stuff. And we want to be within the law. And I'm sorry, Deputy O'Brien, I know you might be impatient with me, what I'm saying to you.
No, I'm not.
Well, then listen, please. The only remit we have legally in terms of funding here is funding that comes from Sport Ireland to the organisation. That's the law. And their accountability is to that. Another funding, notwithstanding the importance of your questions, they don't have to answer if they don't wish to, and that's the fact.
And I appreciate that, Jen. If they don't wish to answer, then
Yeah.
I understand that. And if
obligation
you
on them to
believe
answer.
that it's beyond the remit of the question, then that's your responsibility
It
to,
is my
to
responsibility,
correct me.
yeah.
But if I can ask the question, and then
Yes, of
people
course.
can decide whether it's beyond the remit or not.
Pardon?
If I can ask the question, and then you can make a ruling on whether
I
it's
will, of
beyond
course, yes.
the
I'll
remit.
have to do
Okay.
that, yeah.
The bank account that the concerns were in relation to, that if all of the checks were processed, is that the main bank account?
That is our main working account.
Yeah,
That's right,
our
Alex?
main
Okay.
current account.
And is that the same bank account that prize money is paid to League of Ireland clubs from, including European money?
So on that, I have to say that it's up to the witness, on the legal advice I've been given, it is up to the witness to answer that question if he wishes. He doesn't have to answer it.
That's, I think, we can answer the deputy's question.
That is our main account that we pay most of our suppliers from, including clubs.
Okay. So there are a number of accounts where money is lodged into, right, which are not the main bank account, which is in relation to this particular 100,000 loan. That money then is paid out of the main account. So I presume money is transferred from the accounts they're paid into. For instance, and Chair, I'm not trying to step outside the remit.
That's totally it.
If the money is paid into one particular account, could be any one of the 13 accounts, and just take, for example, the UEFA account. Money is obviously transferred then into the main bank account and then paid on to clubs. So there should be no issue in relation to certain creditors having their funds met, because there would be money sitting in holding accounts. For instance, prize money would be sitting in a holding account. If a club like Cork City, that I would be involved in, asked the FAI for their prize money or the UEFA money from their European runs, that money would be transferred automatically from the European UEFA account into the main bank account and then transferred on. So there are certain creditors there wouldn't be concerns in relation to if checks were issued or outstanding to them. Would that be a fair assessment?
Again, I would say, Mr. Chairman, if it's, you say money as a consequence of participation in Europe, UEFA money, whatever, is not directly what we're talking about here.
No, but I'm trying to establish. It was stated in Mr. Delaney's opening statement that at the meeting in April 2017, 25th of April 2017, between Mr. Delaney, Mr. Breen and Yvonne Sang,
Yeah.
that there was concerns raised that there was checks having been wrote, that if they were all cashed in before the end of the week, there would be an issue in relation to funds, sufficient funds being in the account to meet them. What I'm trying to establish is there are clearly different sets of creditors, because some creditors, for instance League of Ireland clubs, who are owed money from prize money or UEFA money, that money is already sitting in a different account. So there wouldn't be an issue if we say Cork City or Dundalk or Derry or any of those clubs requested the FAI for their prize money. There wouldn't be an issue in relation to that, because that money is sitting in a separate account. So is it a fair assessment that there would only be certain types of creditors that those checks would be written to, which could create a potential cash flow issue?
I said this earlier today that our arrangements with any creditors, clubs or anything else, was not really something I want to talk about here.
Okay, I'm not asking for individual amounts to each clubs. I'm just asking a simple question. And look, well, to me it's a simple question. Are there certain creditors that wouldn't create a cash flow issue because the money owed to them would be transferred from one of the other 12, 13 FAI bank accounts it would be sitting in?
We're not talking about Sport Ireland money here. We're not talking about public money here,
If you don't wish to answer,
So-
No, just.
but
hold
we're
on.
not.
if you don't
and
wish to
that's-
answer, just
I'm
say
sorry,
that.
just hold on,
and-
Deputy. I'm conscious, we know what we're talking about here. I'm just allowing the witness to respond. As chairman, I've said what I've had to say. And once we finish this section, we'll take the break that we said at 4:15 for 25 minutes, and we'll come back in then with the next speaker. But I want to be fair to everybody. And if you wish to give your reply in the format that you wish to, we'll then end this session. And
The movement
come back
of,
again.
we talked about our cash flow problems and the bridging loan that arose, but the position of creditors, and you may not be, I know you're not talking about any individual creditor, but all that interest around that is something I'm not comfortable with. And I can't give any further help to
The final
you,
question,
Deputy,
so
on
if I
that
can,
question.
Chair, the final question is it a fair assessment, without naming creditors or amounts owed to them, is it a fair assessment that there are only certain types of creditors which would have the potential to create a cash flow issue if the cheques issued to them were cashed in?
Again, I feel constrained, Deputy, in terms of what I can answer.
It's now 4:20.
Sorry, Chair.
We will take